Well, the hour being 3 o'clock, we'll call this Town Council Agenda and Priorities meeting to order this 7th day of June, 2021. We have an agenda before us. Are there any additions or deletions wished? No? Then would someone like to move we adopt it as submitted?
Your worship, I so move.
Thank you, Councillor Hale. All in favor? Carried. First thing on the updates of administration, ECC COVID-19. Mr. Becker.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just go through my notes here. Just bear with me. So ECC continues to meet every Wednesday at 10. So recent discussions included the, as we're aware, stage 2 we're in stage 1 right now. Stage 2 expected to begin June the 10th, with stage 3 expected to begin late June and early July. As you saw through communication from myself as well through the media, there's one positive test of COVID within the office, with that individual back to work expected this week. Next week's agenda, you're going to see some correspondence regarding the town of Innisfail and McMahon Youth and Community Services announcing that opportunity for residents of Innisfail to access free counseling sessions, three counseling sessions free of charge to assist in supporting mental health and well-being. I think it's a really good initiative. If you haven't seen that detail yet, you'll see that in next week's package. I think there is some correspondence issued out on that program at this time. As we know, on June 1st, the government of Alberta announced stage 1 of the Alberta's Open for Summer plan, with stage 2 June 10th, as mentioned. The Alberta's Open for Summer plan is based upon vaccination uptake rates, with stage 3 requiring 70% of Albertans to have received at least their first dose. In relation to recreation facilities, all indoor recreation facilities must remain closed to the public. Confirming that over to Megan.
Yeah, until the stage 2.
Stage 2.
Okay.
Outdoor recreation facilities may remain open with participant limits and mandatory 2-meter distancing at all times. Such things as individual fitness, recreation, performance activities are permitted, such as running, cycling, biking, golfing, and other individual activities. Group activities of 10 or fewer people, such as team sport training, physical activities, fitness training, performance activities, and youth skill development activities are permitted. More than 10 people may use an outdoor facility at the same time, so long as physical distancing is maintained between households. Up to a maximum of 10 spectators are permitted to attend outdoor physical activities or performances, providing 2-meter distancing is maintained at all times. Outdoor pools, golf courses, tennis courts, pickleball courts, etc., running tracks can remain open unless specifically closed by a public health order. And banquet halls, community halls, centers be open during stage 1. However, activities are limited to wedding ceremonies of up to 10 people, including officials, or funeral services up to 20 people, not including facility staff, funeral clergy, or organizers. Receptions and trade shows remain prohibited. And that's generally what's going on regarding some of the restrictions, Mayor and Council.
Any questions? No. I think it's pretty straightforward. Thank you. Mr. Becker, would someone like to move that we accept this update for information?
I will, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Bates. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Strategic plan update.
Thank you, Your Worship. It's really been a while since we talked formally about the strategic plan. From CEO's perspective, Council's term has been inclusive of establishing a strategic focus Council has enhanced the corporate strategic processes with such things as adopting more recently the strategic planning policy. Some of the areas that come to my mind regarding strategy and actions are associated to such things as capital planning through the Stevens Department, sports field developments, Dodds Lake Recreation Master Plan, Horse Cemetery Plan, working on multiplex concept plan, schematic design plan, and as well as economic development continues to be a focus of council. Each one of these planning documents are can't read. I'm writing, actually, sorry, council, creating an opportunity for action in the future. So either these plans are in play, as you'll see as we go through the action plan, or they are setting up for future action in the near future. So this report that I'm talking about to you right now is associated with council's corporate strategic plan. So when we did this back in 2018, council's corporate plan was created around the 5 pillars of community sustainability that include governance, culture, social, economy, and environments. Administration has built its action plans in relation to council's 15 strategic priorities, which include such things as you'll see in the plan report, to provide enhanced opportunities for public engagements, to build mutually beneficial partnerships with Red Deer County, to improve knowledge, acceptance, and respect of bylaws, to ensure that effective HR management is a concentration for the town, to attract new local business, to attract travelers to Innisfail, to support existing local business, environmental responsibility, to diversify housing, to enhance urban spaces, community gathering and athletic spaces, provide a safe community for citizens, groups, and business, identify and express Innisfail's unique culture, and promote well-being through social amenities, and to provide necessary town infrastructure maintenance and upgrades. From an administrative perspective, the plan has worked quite well. A few things maybe to highlight, just that prioritizing really kind of got out of, I guess, clear communication. A lot of priorities, which have been achieved due to a lot of hard work by council and supported by administration. Of course, COVID has a large play on our plan as well, but we also reestablished a strategic plan in relation to COVID, and the regular reporting of the strat plan really stopped largely when COVID started over whatever 16 months ago. So a lot of goods I can see within the results from my perspective, but there has been a few challenges just on learning on process and making sure we're communicating priorities as well as the results of the plan, what is working and what is not working. So I think areas to improve on for sure with our next corporate strategic plan. So just walk through council, just kind of take a peek at what's going on here. So I'll just kind of focus in on the different colored areas, and they're kind of mingled through the whole report, but if there's anything of attention you want to speak to, just please interrupt me, but I'm not going to read line by line, but I'll just kind of go back to each color area. So the first top 2 priority actions, not top 2, but listed here, adherence to bylaws. So I'll just continue on, section regarding business attraction and investments, just a few things regarding marketing, etc. Community gathering and athletic spaces. There's a list of different actions that have been completed. Some of it are capital projects, some are planning, etc. If I recall, when council established this plan, there was I think gathering and athletic spaces was council's top priority. It's really up to you to decide the success or not on that, and the public as well, but there's been a lot of attention placed on this priority. Cultural identity and expression, and I think there's even more probably could be listed within here. What comes to mind is, of course, the work of WIC, the rally, some of the policy framework regarding racism, discrimination, which is a bylaw, of course, but our cultural identity and expression has certainly been part of council's term. Environmental responsibility as well. There's also been significant work regarding environmental responsibility. Housing options, sorry. So we will reallocate urban hand pilot program into the responsible area. Housing options, of course. Infrastructure and asset upgrades, large, part of the capital planning and projects. Promote well-being through social amenities in Innisfail. You can see some of the work that was completed there. Safe community. There's quite a bit there as well. More on the tourism side, some work there to attract travelers to Innisfail. I think wayfinding projects was focused immediately at, with a couple phases complete. Provide enhanced opportunities for public engagements. And when I see that section, I think even beyond that, we did dial in with school divisions, with realtors, and different groups. So I think we could have a section based on engagements, but those are some of the areas we did not capture specifically, but there has been some work on engagements. Urban spaces, positive first impressions, beautification, community gathering and athletic spaces, the cultural identity and expression regarding cultural master plan. That's, we did not achieve result on that priority. So some of these areas are marked complete, deferred, or no further action. Promote well-being through social amenities in Innisfail again. To attract travelers to Innisfail. Urban spaces, positive first impression, beautification. Community gathering and athletic spaces. Enhance opportunities for public engagements. And moving into business attraction and investments. Some ongoing items there. Community gathering and athletic spaces. Cultural identity and expression. Environmental responsibility. Infrastructure and asset upgrades with some planning. Business attraction and investments are underway. Community gathering and athletic. I'm in trouble there, Councilor Reber, on that one. And athletic spaces. And lastly, community gathering and athletic spaces. So just again, there's a list in sports, just say sports. So those are, again, if something comes to mind that we're missing and it should be captured in the work you've done, council, pass that on to Vanessa. We can make sure they're identified and get you a clean copy for you at an upcoming, in the near future. But we want to give you some reference as you move on towards the end of your term on some of the significant successes you've achieved, and some areas, of course, that we have not accomplished. So pass that on to Vanessa. We'll clean it up and we'll bring it back to you. And if there's any questions, council, or discussion items, please have at it.
You missed the last 2 pages of your presentation.
Is there more?
Yep.
So much we've done, I can't. Okay, I'll continue. Just finish this off. Environmental responsibility regarding energy, housing options, human resource management, infrastructure and asset upgrades, promote well-being through social amenities in Innisfail, regional collaboration and safe community, to attract travelers to Innisfail, urban spaces, positive first impression, beautification, yeah, business attraction, investments. Again, largely these are underway or upcoming. Business gathering and athletic spaces, human resource management, regional collaboration to attract travelers to Innisfail, and lastly, to provide enhanced opportunities for public engagements. And to provide enhanced opportunities for public engagement to finalize things off. So if council, if you have any direction, even if you would like to see a little bit different layout to finalize a nice and crisp document, please provide that feedback. But it is there for your review and comments.
Your worship, through to CAO Becker, the Destination Development Fund, is that in collaboration with the hospitality groups here in Innisfail, like the hotels and motels? Or is this something different?
I believe your worship, Councillor Harrison, that was not pushed out. Council did have a delegation early on the term from Tourism Alberta regarding Destination Fund, some grant dollars, but there is a component that municipalities can utilize local hospitality to partner to allocate some of the funding towards back into community marketing, but that action has not been achieved. That did not gain legs and move forward.
Thank you.
Councillor Bates?
Yeah, just a comment, not as much of a question, but just a massive amount of stuff. And obviously, I think it's going to become quite a priority discussion for funding of some of the things that have been turned up. And I know we're going to talk about some capital projects here soon, but it's not just capital. It's going to be a lot of funding priorities, I think.
Mm-hmm. Is there any further questions, council?
Is whistle cessation in here anywhere?
It is, your worship. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Although it's not complete, but ongoing.
I think at one of our Zooms recently, Stephen gave us an update that next couple of weeks we'd see it on every crossing except the one that doesn't have arms.
Yeah, we got an update from them. I just got another update.
Oh, another
actually.
update.
Thursday, the signs will be up.
Oh.
Except for Highway 54, we're still dealing with Alberta Transportation on that one. And the 42nd Ave, they have construction to do there. That'll be this September, October. So.
Your worship, through to Director Kennedy, signs, what are these signs going to say? Beware of whistle or lack of whistle? Or
It's for the engineers to notify them that they don't need
whistle.
to be blowing throughout town. So yeah, hopefully you won't hear the whistles for a little while. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you.
So just on that note, is there, how do we make the public aware that they're not going to be blowing the whistles anymore? Is there a campaign or how does that work?
I think what we'll do is we'll send out a public, now that I've got an actual date, we'll send out a notice, probably post it. I'll work with Ken on that just to let the public know.
Your worship, through to Director Kennedy, are you going to maybe do something specific with schools to let them know, just because the kids that are crossing at the White Rock and stuff, and let them know there's no whistle anymore? Just be extra careful.
Yeah, I kind of wondered a little about whistle cessation before we get that crossing in, but I guess it's not really, not really the same reasons, but I don't know, that'd be the only concern I might have. But if we make it known at the school system that you're gonna have to be a lot more ultimately aware of the presence of the trains with the whistle cessation.
Your worship, is there, maybe through to Director Kennedy, is there a sign there, like when the kind of warning? Haven't crossed the tracks there myself. Okay.
Just Mayor and Council, as for the conversation, I know our community peace officers have made an effort to support the schools with crosswalks. Very positive from parents and the school. So I think what we'll do through to Director Kennedy is we can talk to Manager Leith just on potential of having presence at the White Rock crossing, just at that time, just to create that awareness.
Yeah.
So we'll put a little bit of effort there, just make sure the crossings are safe.
I'm hoping we'd have a sign right there at that point that says beware trains
There is one
are
there.
not whistling or will not be whistling.
Oh, true, yeah.
That's all. Okay, is there any other questions of that? I think CEO Becker's looking for a motion to accept this for information.
I'd so move, your worship.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Harrison. Any further discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Right, 3.3 municipal service inventory.
Thank you, Your Worship. This is just a step forward to really outline the services provided by the town. I think there's about 135-ish services that we provide to the town, but also the region. The intent is to catalog the town's external services and ultimately develop service levels for each one of these. And it's going to take a significant amount of time to do that. We want to make sure we put council in a position to make detailed decisions with data and information. If you recall, as COVID started to ramp up, we talked about the liability financially, potentially of the town. We came to council when we we did a risk assessment, which we know it didn't occur, but we took risk assessment as a precaution, and we did make adjustments to service levels based on data, and that's built through Stephen Megan on the parks and line painting specifically, to say this is what we do, and if we make adjustments to these service levels, this is what we can save to help mitigate some of that risk regarding financial. And so that's the intent, is to put council in direct decision making on real data. What is the cost of the service? What is the repetition? can we adjust services ultimately to allocate some of those resources to some other location? We've done that in a few spots, parks and snow removal is one as well, line painting, communications, dev, but those require some updates. But the intent is to build out service levels and take a few every year and keep building them out. And again, right now, that information comes to you based on requests. If you want to understand service level on a certain service, we can take that away and build that out. But it's very difficult to take them all right now and build it out. It's a very lengthy process. Service level reviews can happen at your wish or at any one of our wishes. We did that with enforcement based on an internal need to take a look at that service. That service level review was conducted not so much on the financial component, but that was piece of it, just on the functioning of that service. That was driven by just through external factors, but by me. But you have a right to say, let's take a look at this service, or in 2022, let's look at these 3 services. And we can analyze, get you real data and explore. So yeah, the intent is just to start. This is a start. This does apply into different budgeting processes as well. I know priority-based budgeting does align itself to service inventory, but all budgeting processes does that. So we're kind of stepping ourselves towards any evaluation of budgetary processes with this service inventory. So again, I'm not going to go through the service inventory. It's for your review. There's intent to put on our website to help with the conversations, but also to help community understand what services we provide. Ideally, we'd keep building on this process and engage community on service quality and service expectations. And that is through an engagement process, through surveying, and that's a benchmarking opportunity that we can discuss at some other time. But so this is a very useful tool for us to take a look at what we're doing. If there's any questions, council, that's really my report.
I'm just as some clarification here on permits, building permits, electrical, plumbing, gas fitting. Now, are we still contracting that at this point in time?
Yeah, so we have extended our contract with IJD through the end of the year. And the job posting for the building and fire inspector is active right now. We will continue to contract them for the electrical, plumbing, and gas component of the permits, though.
It just that I read these and I looked at them and I thought, not really clear where it says that. See,
Well, I think the intent of the list, and Todd, is that it is a service the town provides. We
Right.
do use a contractor
so
to
that's,
do
whether
that
it's
component.
contracted or otherwise, we're the access point.
Your worship, the service levels would indicate how that service is provided.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, this is just a service inventory of what services we provide.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Is someone prepared to make a motion that we approve the municipal services inventory for information?
I can make that motion, your worship.
Thank you, Councillor Barkley. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Well, you can move on to a roundtable discussion. Councillor Harrison, would you like to lead off?
Thank you, Your Worship. Actually, quite a quiet week this past week. Just a couple of things. We had a core leadership team briefing earlier on, and I found that quite informative. And there's great work going on by that team. Tomorrow we have a capital projects team meeting I noticed a number of young people practicing their disc golf. They were over in the schoolyard there. I think either they were giving lessons or practicing, but so looking forward to that moving forward. The 50th and 50th, I see we have 3 apple trees and some flowers there. So that's starting to take shape. It looks good. Just want to remind everybody that it's Seniors Week starting today, and every day you can go by a different business and get a burger or a cinnamon bun or whatever. So I don't know how many seniors are in the room, but and the flowers along Main Street hanging up on Main Street, it quite nice. It's very inviting when you drive down Main Street there. It looks good. Hopefully the wind doesn't beat them up too bad, but so I think that's about all I had, Your Worship. Thank you.
So since last time we were here, I had a Innisfail Public Library meeting through Zoom. I think they'll be quite happy to be back open again when Thursday rolls around. Tomorrow, the capital planning and Canada Day planning in the afternoon. So we've come up with our projects and we're just fleshing out all the details of what will be happening on Canada Day other than the fireworks. And for those of you that are so inclined, the Legion should be open on Friday.
Councillor Barclay, just a question for Danny. So what, do you have a rough idea what we're doing on July 1st, or is that?
Yeah, family activities.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you included the kids anyway.
Or sorry, COVID-friendly family activities. I don't know that Kane's ready to announce them yet, so I'm not going to be the one to do it.
Okay, last week I had a Parkland Foundation meeting and the Economic Development Group, as well as tomorrow the capital projects. And yes, I too am looking forward to hearing about the Canada Day celebrations when the cat's out of the bag. And I think Market on Main also begins next week, right, Director Jenkins? And that starts Tuesday. So looking forward to that as well.
Okay, Councillor Bates.
Yeah, so last week I had MPC and the economic development discussion. I did watch a good portion of the virtual grad that they had this year because I did have a family member in that. And yeah, capital budget tomorrow. Life's good.
Okay. Councillor Hill.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of things. I was approached by a few of our local sports teams. They're having obviously the same kind of issues as everyone else with fundraising, and they're going to be a lot more. They're looking at some drop-off zones for bottle drives instead of just going around. They're just going to have local stationary trailers for that. So something to maybe start saving up your bottles. And there's been Market on Main. I've had quite a few. Even family members and other people really excited for that ramping up. So other than that, that's all, Your Worship. Thank you.
Okay, the Market on Main starts this week, right?
Next week.
Or not till next week?
Tuesday.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I guess since our last council, I thoroughly enjoyed the economic development gathering we had with the players, and council came as guests, and there was some very good discussions, I thought. I had a kind of a pleasant little thank you today at the dentist. Dr. Day was telling me about how crazy his kids are about the fishing at Dodds Lake now. So they're riding their bikes down there and fishing. So they haven't caught anything yet, but they're told there's something in there. So, but kids are enjoying it. I couldn't believe the number of people that are starting to pay attention to that facility down there. So there's interest. If we look to develop that area more, it's going to be well received, I think. But anyways, we are in the process right now of doing interviews with the Water Commission on trying to find a new operations director for the water treatment plant and operations. So I booked this room here for interviews on Thursday. So I'll be doing some interviews. I'll keep you posted as to what we decide there. I don't think there is anything else. Have you guys got anything over there, Stephen?
I was just going to clarify because I know I had a couple here confused too. So the capital budget meeting tomorrow will be HCMA will be joining us and their cost consultants. I know the meeting title is a little vague as to what the topic of conversation is. So that is the general protocol on that meeting. And yes, the market on Main, 3:00 next Tuesday will be our first market. Yeah, it's been great.
Okay, so this meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock is yeah, but it's going to be Zoom totally. We're in here and then there'll be adjoining. That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Erica, you didn't have anything? No? Ken, you got world by the tail. Vanessa? No. Mr. Becker, nothing? About the outside world? Is there anybody out there that's watching? Pardon me? Okay. All right. Well, I guess that's it for the roundtable discussions. We look at perhaps a motion to go in camera.
Your worship, I would make a motion that we move in camera.
Thank you, Councillor Hill. All in favor? Carried. Take a couple minutes break.